My mother-in-law accused me of marrying for money, spreading doubt and turning family against me. Hurt and cornered, I fought back with proof and strategy, reclaiming my home and peace while proving my worth. My name is Grace, and I'm 32 years old. I've been married to Leo, who's 35, for 5 years now. We have a little boy, Ethan, who just turned 3. Life was pretty good for a while. Leo works as an engineer, I'm a part-time graphic designer, and we've built a decent home together. But lately, everything's been falling apart, and it all started with my mother-in-law. She's convinced I only married Leo for his money. That's the big problem I'm dealing with, and honestly, it's tearing me apart. But it's not just her accusation. There are other issues piling up that make this mess even harder to handle. Let me start with my mother-in-law. She's a strong-willed woman, probably in her late 60s, and she's never been shy about speaking her mind. She's the type who thinks she knows everything about everyone, and she's always had this protective streak over Leo, her only son. I get it, he's her pride and joy. But from the moment Leo and I got serious, she's been suspicious of me. At first, it was little comments, like asking how a girl like me managed to catch someone like Leo. I brushed it off, thinking she'd warm up eventually. She didn't. Things got worse after Ethan was born. Leo's salary had gone up with a promotion, and we decided to buy a bigger house. It wasn't anything fancy, just a 3-bedroom place with a small yard for Ethan to play in. But to my mother-in-law, that was proof I was some gold digger who'd tricked her son into spending all his money on me. One day, she came over unannounced, looked around the house, and said, "I see you've got him wrapped around your finger, Grace. How much did this cost him?" I was stunned. Leo was right there, and he tried to laugh it off, saying, "Mom, we both wanted this." But she just smirked and said, "Sure, that's what she wants you to think." That was the moment I realized this wasn't just her being grumpy, it was personal. She genuinely believed I was using Leo. And she didn't stop there. She started calling me out in front of family, dropping hints at gatherings, like, "Oh, Grace must love having all this now, huh?" It got to the point where I dreaded seeing her. Leo told me to ignore it, that she'd get over it, but she didn't. She'd call him when I wasn't around, filling his head with doubts. I'd overhear him on the phone, saying things like, "No, Mom, Grace isn't like that," but I could tell it was wearing on him. Then there's the other problem that's making this whole thing even messier. My sister-in-law, Lily. She's Leo's younger sister, 29 years old, and she's always been a bit of a wild card. Lily's the opposite of Leo, where he's steady and responsible. She's impulsive and dramatic. She's never liked me much either, mostly because she thinks I stole her brother's attention. Before I came along, Leo used to bail her out of every mess she got into. Late rent, car repairs, you name it. Now that he's focused on our family, she's bitter. And when my mother-in-law started accusing me of marrying Leo for money, Lily jumped right on board. Lily's got her own issues. She's been struggling to hold down a job, and she's always asking Leo for cash. A few months ago, she showed up at our house, saying she'd been evicted and needed a place to stay. I didn't want to seem heartless, so I told Leo we should let her crash with us for a bit. Big mistake. She's been here for 3 months now, sleeping on our couch, eating our food, and complaining nonstop. Worse, she's teamed up with my mother-in-law to make my life miserable. I'll hear them whispering in the kitchen, and then Lily will say something loud enough for me to catch, like, "Yeah, Mom's right. Grace sure knows how to spend Leo's money." It's exhausting. I'm trying to keep things together, working my freelance gigs, taking care of Ethan, keeping the house running, but I feel like I'm under attack from 2 sides. Leo's stuck in the middle. He loves his mom and sister, but he's also my husband. I can see it's stressing him out too. He'll defend me when it gets bad, but sometimes he just stays quiet, and that hurts even more. I've started wondering if he's doubting me too, even just a little. On top of all that, there's another issue weighing me down, my own family. My parents live a few hours away, and they've always been supportive, but lately, they've been having money troubles. My dad's retired, and my mom's part-time job isn't cutting it. Last month, they called me, asking if I could help them out with some bills. I wanted to say yes. They've done so much for me growing up, but with everything going on, I hesitated. Leo and I aren't rich. We're comfortable, but we've got a mortgage, Ethan's daycare costs, and now Lily mooching off us. I told my parents I'd see what I could do, but I haven't figured it out yet. The guilt's eating at me, and it's another thing my mother-in-law would probably use against me if she found out. Oh, look, Grace is taking Leo's money to give to her family now. I've spent so many nights lying awake, replaying all this in my head. I didn't marry Leo for his money. I married him because he's kind, hardworking, and we just clicked. Back when we met, I was doing fine on my own. I had a small apartment, a steady job, and no debt. Leo and I built everything together. But my mother-in-law doesn't see that. To her, I'm some scheming outsider who swooped in to drain her son's bank account. And with Lily egging her on, it feels like I'm fighting a losing battle. A few days before that big blow-up, I tried something different to ease the tension. I invited my mother-in-law over for coffee, just the two of us, thinking maybe I could talk to her one-on-one and show her I wasn't the enemy. I spent the morning cleaning the house, making sure everything looked modest and practical, not like some lavish mansion she seemed to imagine. When she arrived, I poured the coffee and tried to keep things light, asking about her garden and her old recipes. But she barely sipped her drink before saying, "Grace, you don't have to pretend with me. I know what this is about." I told her I just wanted us to get along, that I cared about Leo and Ethan, not his paycheck. She didn't say much after that, just gave me this tight-lipped smile and left early. It didn't fix anything, but it showed me she wasn't going to budge, no matter how hard I tried. Around the same time, I started noticing how all this was affecting Ethan. He's only 3, but kids pick up on things. One afternoon, he tugged on my sleeve while I was cooking and asked, "Why's Grandma mad at you, Mommy?" It broke my heart. I knelt down, hugged him, and said, "Oh, sweetie, Grandma's just figuring some stuff out. She loves you tons, though." I didn't want him caught in the middle, but it hit me how much this was spilling over into his little world. That's when I started feeling this urgency, not just to protect myself, but to keep our home a safe, happy place for him. I couldn't let their bitterness take that away from us. One evening, it all came to a head. My mother-in-law came over for dinner. Leo insisted, saying it'd be good to clear the air. I cooked a simple meal, nothing extravagant, just chicken and rice with some veggies. Ethan was running around, and Lily was sprawled on the couch, scrolling her phone. Everything was tense from the start. Halfway through dinner, my mother-in-law put her fork down and looked at me. "Grace," she said, her voice sharp, "I've been thinking. Leo's been working so hard lately, and I just wonder where all that money's going. This house, those nice clothes you wear, seems like you're living pretty well off my son." I froze. Leo stopped eating and said, "Mom, come on, we've been over this." But she ignored him and kept going. I raised him to be smart, not to let someone take advantage of him. "I just want to know, Grace, what did you bring to this marriage besides your pretty smile?" That hit me like a punch. I felt my face get hot, and before I could stop myself, I said, "I brought love, a family, and a home. I work too, you know. I'm not sitting around spending Leo's money." My voice was shaking, but I couldn't hold it in anymore. She laughed, a short, bitter sound. "Oh, please. You expect me to believe that? Girls like you know how to play the game." Leo slammed his hand on the table. "That's enough, Mom. Grace is my wife. You don't get to talk to her like that." Ethan started crying, and Lily smirked from the couch, like she was enjoying the show. I picked up Ethan and took him to his room, trying to calm him down while my chest felt like it was caving in. After that night, I knew I couldn't keep living like this. I had to do something. I wasn't going to let my mother-in-law and Lily ruin my family. But I also didn't want to put Leo in a position where he had to choose between me and them. That wouldn't be fair to him. So I started thinking about how to handle this smartly, in a way that'd protect what Leo and I had built without starting an all-out war. First, I decided to talk to Leo alone. The next morning, after he dropped Ethan at daycare, I sat him down at the kitchen table. "Leo," I said, "I love you, and I love our life together. But your mom and Lily, they're making me feel like I don't belong here. I need you to back me up, not just sometimes, but all the time. I didn't marry you for money, and you know that." He looked tired, but he nodded. "I know, Grace. I'm sorry I haven't been tougher on them. Mom's always been like this. She's stubborn. And Lily, she's just lost right now. But you're right. I'll talk to them." That was a start, but I knew words wouldn't be enough. I needed a plan. For my mother-in-law, I figured the best way to shut down her accusations was to show her the truth. I started keeping track of our finances, every penny I earned from freelancing, every bill we paid together. I wasn't going to confront her with it yet, but I wanted hard proof that I wasn't some freeloader. If she ever brought it up again, I'd be ready. With Lily, it was trickier. She wasn't just a guest anymore. She was a problem. I told Leo we needed to set a deadline for her to move out. He agreed, but he didn't want to kick her out cold. So we came up with a deal. She had 1 month to find a job and a place, and we'd help her with a small loan to get started. After that, she was on her own. I knew she'd hate it, but I couldn't keep supporting her while she trashed me behind my back. The next week, Leo sat Lily down and laid it out. She didn't take it well, yelled about how we were selfish, how families supposed to stick together. But Leo held firm, and I stayed out of it, letting him handle his sister. She stormed off to her friend's place that night, and honestly, I felt lighter with her gone. As for my parents, I couldn't ignore them either. I took on an extra freelance project, a logo design for a local business, and sent them a few $100s. It wasn't much, but it eased my guilt, and I told them I'd help more when I could. They were grateful, and that made me feel like I was still a good daughter, even with all this chaos. Over the next few weeks, things slowly got better. My mother-in-law didn't apologize, but she stopped coming over as much, and when she did, Leo made it clear he wouldn't tolerate her jabs. Lily found a part-time job at a coffee shop and moved in with a roommate, grumbling the whole time, but finally out of our house. Leo and I started talking more, really connecting again, and I felt like we were a team. One night, after Ethan was asleep, Leo and I sat on the couch with a glass of wine. He put his arm around me and said, "I'm proud of you, Grace. You didn't let them break us." I smiled, leaning into him. "We didn't let them break us," I corrected. And in that moment, I realized I was grateful, not just for Leo, but for the strength I'd found in myself. Things weren't perfect, but they were better than when this all started. Looking back, I think I handled it the best I could. I didn't lash out, even when I wanted to. I didn't make Leo pick sides in a way that'd tear him apart. I just kept pushing forward, protecting what mattered. But I'd love to hear what you think. If you were me, what would you have done? Was there a better way to deal with my mother-in-law's accusations or Lily's drama? I'm curious. Let me know your thoughts.
Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the story. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss our daily updates.